dun. Yeah. What up, y'all? This is Extra Riffin. What a historic night. And I said, I got to go to the comedy store, but I said, you know what? It's fresh on my mind. My thoughts are fresh. And I said, let's just go and talk about this debacle. Now, I'm going to be as fair and honest as I possibly can be. So I waited to go on because I wanted to look at some of the news programs on my. I have YouTube TV, so you can like do a 4 block of like the news. So I had on Fox, CNN, MSNBC, and I believe it was PBS or BBC, one of those, right? And it's so crazy to see like we're living in a multiverse. You know what I mean? It's a multiverse. And that was my thoughts. My initial thoughts of the debate. I'm going to say this first is that it's crazy how diametrically different the freaking parties are. You know, these two old ass men are sitting here with their blue tie and their red tie, and they're talking about different Americas as if we live in completely different places, as if we're like not dealing with the issues that we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis about money, about food, about inflation, about, you know, healthcare, cost of living, and or like, you know, or if you're even more political and you're thinking about what's going on overseas, if you're like foreign, if, you know, if you're Jewish and you're thinking about, oh man, what's going on in Israel, if you're Palestinian, you're like, what's going on in Palestine, if you're, you know, from Eastern Europe and you're thinking about Ukraine, it's like these two, like, just so different. Like I don't know. It's like, what a multiverse of politics these people are, you know, living in, man. It's just craziness. You know what I mean? But, okay, now I'll tell you what I thought, you know, and that's from looking at, here's one. All right, let me just go into it. Okay. You know, I don't think anybody won, but Joe Biden for sure lost. That's how I feel. And why do I say that? Because what's a presidential debate? I don't remember the last time I think it was I don't even remember like when you actively were trying to watch a debate. Like if you're into politics or you follow it and you vote or whatever, you might turn on the debate. You know, you're like, I gotta see what's going on. You know, it's like when you're watching C-SPAN is on all the time, and very important things are going on C-SPAN almost on a daily basis, but nobody watches it. Nobody cares. But this is like when the presidential debate comes, it's kind of like the State of the Union. You only watch it because you turn on your TV and you're like, wait, what? Where's my show? And then this is on and you kind of check in. So I would say for the casual viewer, you're turning this on, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot they were doing this. And you're watching. You can't watch that debate and be like, yeah, Joe Biden's got it all together. All right. Like, just as a casual person that you don't know much about politics or you don't follow it or it's not something you're concerned about, you can't look at that debate and have confidence in that guy. You know, I'm just being honest, man. And I really appreciated when I was looking at like CNN and MSNBC and all these things, they weren't trying to act like he had a strong showing, you know. It was a lot of people like, whoa, this don't look good. Now, I say that it's unfair because can the guy do the job? I mean, possibly, you know, if he's just sitting there, does he have all his faculties there? It just didn't feel like it. So regardless if he like has policies that we love and he's gonna change the economy and he's working on immigration and he's gonna fight for abortion, you didn't feel confident. Like you can't leave that debate being like, yeah, that's my guy, you know? So I feel like the Democratic Party is really in trouble if they don't like talk to this guy being like, yo, you know, and he had a couple of funny moments. I thought the alley cat, he said, you got the morals of an alley cat. I thought that was hilarious. He had a couple lines like that where I was like, okay, Joe, you going at him, right? But then it was like they're talking about their golf swings. I was like, what? What are you guys talking about? I don't want to see either one of you golf. You know what I mean? Like, what? Shut up, right? So that was stupid. But let me just stay on Joe Biden first, okay? So, like, it was cringe when you felt like if you're a supporter of Joe Biden and he's talking, you were kind of going like this. All right, Joe, okay, Just sell it, man. You can, And then he starts like fumbling his words, and he's like, obviously, like, okay, no, that's not. I'm sorry, I didn't mean billions, trillions. I meant billions. And it's like when you see that, it just it doesn't give you the feeling of like, yeah, this is a strong, leader. It's just I thought that was like it's really it was sad. Just being honest with you. Now, if you're a person that cares about policy and you were really diving into the policy and the things that he was saying, okay. Maybe he had a couple of wins in there, but like the debate, what is that really about? Is it about like people understanding policy, or is it about like, what do these guys look like? How do they feel? How do they, And I really felt like, I just felt like you can't leave that feeling like you just can't. I can't sit here and lie and sit here and be like, I feel so good about like he was so bad that the left media can't even support him. Like they're abandoning him right now. Like they're all those stations. I was watching a lot of them, and they're just like, whew, and then there's a couple people who are like, he won on this and that, and it's just like as a casual viewer, and I think a lot of you are casual viewers, you can't look at that and be like. It's kind of like a show. You're like, oh, well, let me turn this off. All right. So there's that. Now on the other side, in terms of like they both look old to me, but like Trump next to Biden looked like he was 50. You know what I mean? Like, and you don't want that. Like, you don't want to make your opponent without doing anything look like he's stronger and more vital. Like when Trump got him on it, he was like, I took the test. You know what I mean? He won't take the test, And then I think the killing blow for Joe Biden's persona and everything is when he said, I don't know what he just said, and I don't think he knows what he just said. And you were at home like this. Yeah. You know what I mean? You were at home just like, yeah, I agree with him on that. Now, in terms of like Trump, I don't think either one of them won, but I think Joe Biden lost, if that makes sense, because I think Trump had him, man. He had him on his heels, but he kept going on and on and on. America's terrible. It's like, you don't trash the whole restaurant, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you're a waiter at a restaurant and you're like, let's say you're trying to get the manager's job, you don't trash the whole restaurant. Like if it was two people debating about to be the manager of the restaurant, I wouldn't want to hear one guy being like, "This restaurant sucks." The way you're running the restaurant is the worst. It's the worst restaurant ever. The food sucks. The people that work here suck. Everything about this place sucks. There's a certain point where I was like, "Yo, dude, tell me what you gonna actually do." Make me feel confident about you're like, damn, is it? I found myself going, well, is it that bad? Are we doing that bad? I wish he would have just been like, here's things I want to improve on. Here's things that we could do better. Here's what I'm going to do. Like he just kept talking about what Joe Biden's not doing. And they going to fact check a lot of that. And I guarantee you a lot of it's going to be like, well, he misled on this or that, because that's what he does. He's a salesman. You know what I mean? And he was selling doom and gloom. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that, It just, it's like he should have seen like, oh wow, this guy can't even talk. It's just, and then another thing too with Trump, he wouldn't answer the damn questions. The ladies, and I love how the moderators were like, again, will you whatever about abortion? Will you concede the election? Like they had to ask him like 3 or 4 times, and he just wouldn't answer those things, And so I don't think that made him look good. If you're a swing voter, independent voter who is really into politics, you're a libertarian, you're one of these kind of people, and you really want to you're into this kind of stuff, I don't think Trump won anybody over on that, and it can't be like here's what's weird. The last election was like anything but Trump. That was the mantra, right? So it was like, okay, so Joe Biden comes in and we're like, I think people overlooked his shortcomings and we're like, let's get him, anybody but Trump. Now it's completely opposite. Doesn't it feel like it's like, oh, we can't have this old man running the country? Whether that's fair or not is like, it's not for me to say, but I just know that that's how people feel. Now, the people that are super into politics and they're going to talk about policy and what this one did and what that one did, I get that. But most of us are casual voters. We're just kind of like, we look at our news, we're on our Twitter feeds, we're on our thing, and we're like, hey, what's going on? And then you turn on the debate to get a sense for yourself. You're like, well, let me see who these guys are about, you know? You know what I mean? Like, and then you see it and you're just kind of like, ugh. You can't leave that with confidence. You know what I mean? You just can't, you know? And so it just was like, he just looked feeble and he looked like he's looking down and he couldn't answer. And it's just like, and even if you were rooting for him, you know what I mean? You know, it'd be kind of like you're looking at a race, you know, you're watching a race and you're seeing your guy like clearly fall behind or trip or something. It's like running the hurdles or something. You know, it actually was like the hurdles. You know, it's like every time there's a hurdle, and then you're just like, oh, every single time you're like, oh, please don't trip. You know, oh, remember the hurdles fall, and then you just wait for it, and boom, guy falls, and you're like, ah, damn, that looked terrible. So I don't know, man. I think tomorrow you're going to hear about the Democratic Party is going to be scrambling for something, you know, scrambling. I don't know who it's going to be. I mean, the Democratic National Convention is coming up. I think they're going to have to sit around and be like, you, retire, bro. Pull out of the race and get out of this, or you're going to lose miserably. Like if you were, like you have to ask yourself, even if like you're a staunch liberal, you're so anti-Trump. I mean, can you vote for Joe Biden if the election was tomorrow? Would you? That's a question to ask, you know? Like, it sucks that these are the two candidates. I think they're both trash, honestly. Trash, man. So, I don't know. You know, it's like, why do we only have these, like, limited options? Because at this late stage, this is all we know. I mean, I think most people aren't into politics enough to even know that there is anybody else in the running. Like, who else is there? You know, it's like with Gavin Newsom. Like, I don't like how California is being run, so why would I want this guy? You know what I mean? Like, just when he talks about, like, just all the things you hear, anything that affects your pocketbook, you're just like, what are we doing? You're trying to charge what for who? Why? What's going on in the schools? Like, even if it's just casual things you hear, you know, and like I say, we could all be wrong. Like, how about like not wrong, but like misinformed? Like, a lot of us could be like, we just don't know enough. We're just ignorant of the facts. But like, I think these political types know that, and they're just trying to sway us and get us on their side with like major subjects, immigration, abortion, you know, these kinds of things, energy, you know, the economy. And who won on those things tonight? I don't know, man. Like, you know, Trump kept talking about that. Like, he's talking about 18 million people that are coming across the border. But like, he kept saying like, you know, they're drug users and mental patients, like all 18 million. You know what I'm saying though? It's like it's like he used the number 18 million and then talked about all these negative things. Is it all 18 million? It's like, that was one of those things though but I don't know if people listening at home, if you're just casual, you're in middle America and you're just like, oh wow, 18 million. What's going on there? Like, we don't know what these guys have done or not done. It's bananas. Yeah. And I almost felt like, I don't think Joe Biden should have used all the time. I see somebody in chat talking about that, you know, say, why use all the time? You know, he should have been short and sweet with his responses. Like, you don't have to, it's like, I felt like he was just filling the time to fill the time. It felt all political. See, the thing that like before we found out all we found out about Trump, and that first time he was running, man, he was so outside the box, just the way he's talking about things. But the thing, the negative side I think about Trump is that, man, he was so defensive and just so like negative and like attacky. you know, just like everything was just like, and I don't know what he believes about anything after that. I don't know definitively what, it was always, he always answered a question by trashing Biden, what do you think about abortion, this and that? And he's like, this guy. And you could have played a drinking game with Joe Biden every time he said, what did he kept saying? Like he would start every sentence with the same thing. He said it a billion times, what was that thing he kept saying? Like I don't, oh God. Now I feel like Joe Biden. I'm just so freaking. I don't know, man. It was crazy, And then I know like people, there's RFK people. That he kept saying the idea that's what he kept saying. Not just malarkey. He kept saying the idea that this guy, he said it like you could do a drinking game. The idea that this and that, the idea, it's like, I don't know, man. And I see somebody in my chat say vote for RFK Jr. Look, man. Let's say it was three of them debating. RFK, Biden, and Trump. I can't get past RFK's voice. I'm sorry. In the same way, is that fair to the guy? In the same way, it's probably not fair to Joe Biden saying that he's old. When Joe Biden's sitting at his desk in the Oval Office and he has a moment to himself where he's like, whew, just give me 5 minutes. I got to take a little nap, but then I'll get to that bill. And then he's like, he knows what's going on. Maybe he's just like his body's giving up on him, but his mind is still there, And that's unfair. It's unfair what we're saying about him. But in the same way with RFK, man, his voice, I can't do it. I can't. Oh my God, it's like get a lozenge. You know what I mean? It's tough. They all got something, they all got something. But I don't think RFK can beat Trump. I don't know who could beat Trump, but it's certainly not Biden, man. Like if you're completely anti-Trump, and there's a lot of people that are, they are. And there's a lot of people that love Trump too, by the way, too. Let's just be real about that. But if you're a person that hates Trump and you want him to lose, you can't have confidence tonight. You can't. You just can't. You know what I mean? Like it's just, it's tough, man. It's just really tough. I think that the Democratic Party took a huge hit tonight. That's my final analysis of this. I think that they took a huge hit, and I think that it's time for them now to take a step back and really start to figure out, can we get someone else? But then, like, is he even going to step down? I don't think he has it in him to step down. Like how hard must that be? But wouldn't that be the true leadership? Like true leadership, true like selflessness, true like I am a man of the people for the people, and the best choice is for you to be like, I'm not the one to lead you. That would be a strong thing. Like he should just come out and just give one final speech. I'm old. What you want me to do? All right? I'm old. I've done my time. I don't want you guys feeling this way about America and the Democratic Party. So I'm passing it on to, and then you name somebody. And you go, I'm going to back this guy, and then just like finish out your term as president, just like doing good, trying to do good things, But I don't see how, like, the people in chat right now that are Biden supporters, if he don't step down or there's not talk of it, aren't you going to feel a certain kind of way? Because I know I am, I know I am. Let me put a poll up. Confidence in Biden. after debate. More? Less? Okay. I don't know. So, anyways, oh, that's right. Golden Hour's on right now, huh? That's so funny. Well, when you finish this, get over to Golden Hour. It's just me and Chris this week. Oh, man. So, yeah. So just finish off with this poll. And that's just how I feel about it. Like, who cares what this is? Look, this is my channel. I have my fans that are coming on. And, you guys, some of y'all really like my thought process. So I'm just giving you my thought process. I've been thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? I should go talk about this right now on my channel, because this is like what's going on in the world right now, and I think we should get involved. So my last thing I'll say is this: I think you should get involved. I think we should all get involved with what's going on, because this is crazy. That it's these two old men that the only people we have to choose from. And I don't know. I can't understand one of them. And I don't know if the other one's telling the truth about anything. Like, it's like Trump trying to get elected at all costs. And he's just going to say whatever he has to say. And then just like poor Joe Biden is just burying himself with every word that comes out of his mouth. So, yeah, guys, it's pretty crazy, man. And if I look at the poll, yeah, 7% are saying like they have more confidence in Biden at the debate, and you're just trolling. Again, it's like 62% of the people on my channel right now are saying I'm less confident in Biden, and then 31% of the people are saying they're voting for Trump. And I totally get it, man. I totally get it. And I think Trump, I keep saying the last thing I'm going to say, but I just want to say this last thing. I think Trump, he could have really put the nail in the coffin if he wasn't so negative. Like, tell us what you're going to do, Like, tell us how you're going to, if the country's so bad, tell us how you're going to save it. He just painted such a terrible picture. He just kept going with that. Yeah, this is the worst. We're the worst. No one respects us. Like, why say that? Like, why talk about the country like that? As I said, don't trash the restaurant. Just tell me the soup could be better. That the chicken soup isn't, I'm going to fix the chicken soup. This is how I would do the chicken soup. This is how I would, I would rearrange the front here. But don't just imagine a guy talking about, why do you want to manage a place that is so bad? This is one I don't understand. Like, I just that gloom and doom stuff. He didn't sway me. I'm very like in the middle. I can see my. I like a lot of things the libertarians say. I'm very very much like fiscally conservative, right? Then I also feel like, we should help people, but how we go about that, neither side to me does a good job at it. So it's like, it's hard to even say. But anyways, and this guy, Red Dragon, he was already showing us what he was doing. I'm confused. You're not confused. Don't be a troll, man. Like, that's such a dumbass troll comment. Like, you know what I'm talking about. In this debate, I would have preferred, if you're a casual person checking in for the first time on any kind of this, and you saw this, you would be like, well, geez, this guy, all he talks about is negativity. Like, I'm talking about just this debate. He was too negative. Like, this is why I really hate talking with people about politics, because people are such dumb troll fucks, Like, they just want to be right, and they act dumb. I'm confused. I thought, it's like, dude, if you don't know what I'm saying right now, it's like Biden, he looked old and feeble, and it's unfair to him, but that's how it's going to be coming across. Trump was negative and defensive, and that's how he came across. I don't think if you were a Trump supporter, you're still a Trump supporter. But if you were a Biden supporter, you are really feeling it tonight. You were like, oof, I don't know. So I don't think this won anybody new over, and I think that's where where we stand. And I'll leave it at that. Guys, hey, thanks for watching, letting me spew my unfiltered thoughts right now. It was what a time we're living in right now. So let's see where it goes. Let's see what happens. I'll end the poll with that right there. So we end the poll. It looks like we all lost confidence in Biden. And if you, like I said, if you were a Trump supporter, you're already like, see, look how he is. And if you're a Biden supporter, you're like, damn. And then if you're unknown, I don't think you're kind of like, God damn, can we get better candidates than this? So tough times. I got to head to the Comedy Store.